Hi everyone, hope you're well. This is CoinsKid. Just going to dive into Cardano. Once again, thank you for your continued support across the board on the channel. Sharing is caring. Everything you do to contribute towards the growth of the channel is superb and really do appreciate it. Thank you very much, okay? So diving into Cardano, as outlined in yesterday's video, okay, you can see obviously we're going through a correction, but look exactly where it's fell down to and found support. It's on the previous swing low, it's on the bottom of the retracement here, and that's exactly what I said. If you was to lose the 0618, you would come down and find a base level of support. So that was knob on basically. You are now sitting on that at 115, okay? You have wicked down below it, but you've got bought up. You're a little bit below it at the moment, and it does seem to be coming down a little bit more. So do anticipate that you could actually correct even further, okay? And I would say that a particular key level of support obviously is this extension here, which is this previous low over here. So what we're going to do is drop that in, because you could see Cardano drop further down to this sort of level, okay, where it does find a bit of a reversal. And I want to reassure you that these corrections are perfectly normal in a bull market as well, okay? There was many of them in previous bull markets where things get a little bit overextended and then they roll over and they have that cool off, you know, and it's just part and parcel of it, and you have to take it with a pinch of salt, to be fair. Now the RSI on the 4-hourly time frame is very oversold, okay? It's basically in the floor. You can see last time it was down there. If we sort of stretch this out a little bit, you might be able to see it a bit better. So the RSI, you can see that when it got that low, it got that recovery, bounced up, and then it sort of fell down again. And it's a key indicator of a bottom, to be fair, is the RSI. When you get completely oversold like that, when you're sort of in the floor, you do start to see a bit of recovery. So give it a couple of days or another day or so, you will start to see Cardano find a bit of a base and start to bounce on and march on and broach some of them highs that we've been anticipating. But right now, you could potentially see it. Just looking at this chart right here, you can see that it's a key level of support right here that Cardano has to find and hold if it was to come down anymore. And that particular level of support right now, I'm going to drop that in for you, is 012, okay? Because if Cardano was to start losing that level of support, I would imagine that it's starting to lose some of the daily EMAs there, and that in itself can be, you know, sort of a big signal that we are entering a very large correction indeed. So you do need to see it hold levels of support right now. Support, multiple levels of support. So it's a really interesting area to keep an eye on, and that is $1.02. So what I'm going to do right now, okay, because it's so difficult to chart and say, yeah, there's the bottom or there's the bounce and stuff like that. At the moment, we are correcting. You can't avoid that. You can't get away from the fact that we are coming down. And again, reassure you, it's perfectly normal. So from the top, right now, we're currently 26% down. To the peak, at the bottom there on the wick, we're 31% down. So if we was to come any lower, to that sort of base there, you will be looking at a 34% correction. And again, that's perfectly normal and healthy in the crypto markets here. You can see right here, we are almost getting a bearish cross just there. And you know, many times, and I do target this, many a times these do repel, okay? It's called an EMA retest. You've been bullish since you was down here. Okay, you've done nothing but march on, a little bit overextended there, rolled over, corrected, double top M top pattern, you can see that, and the sort of ascending triangle type pattern you've got going on here as well, where you've got the resistance and you've got the support sort of thing just there. Do you see that? And you're sort of trading inside it, and then you've broke down. And once you've broke down, you had that target there, which was a short opportunity, you know, down, and then you went down some and you've carried on. So at a minute, it's coming down to find a base level of support. But what you do need to keep an eye on, because this is actually a good thing. If it can get this is golden for Cardano, because this is called an EMA retest, okay, where the EMAs almost look like they're going to form a bearish cross on a 4-hourly, but in actual fact they repel, okay, and when they repel, they slingshot the price back over its shoulder, which will take you up to these new highs and attack that high there, and obviously march onwards and upwards for Cardano. So like I said to you, don't run for the hills, don't be scared. One key indicator to tell you that you're looking at a larger correction is when you zoom out and you look at the daily time frame, okay, and if you start losing the EMAs on the daily, you can see right now you are testing it, you're hugging it. You sat on the 55 as a key level of support. Now if you do start to lose that, okay, and you will start to come down and lose this level here, which is key level of support, because don't forget, that's that double M top pattern, okay, and in effect a triple top pattern. It's the key level of support in all of this. If you start to lose that, then you would see a huge correction for Cardano and a massive capitulation event where, you know, do target this. Basically, if you lose 102, you are looking at this sort of triple top pattern, okay, and the target from that is obviously from the peak down down to there, which would bring you down to like 40 cents for Cardano, which would theoretically be the end of the bull run that we've got going on here for Cardano. So that would be a massive capitulation event right there. That is why that target right there needs to hold. Okay, so do target that, because this is a bearish scenario. I'm not saying we're bearish, we're in a bull market, but what we're doing, we're falling through and back testing support. So it's perfectly normal. I want to reassure you of that. So that's a correction event, okay? But you can see just here, you went up and you formed this double top, okay, and you start to lose the support when you corrected down. But you got this savior off the 55, and that was way back on the 23rd of December. You went through that sort of big correction, which you're sort of looking at that right now, looking at a very similar thing where you've sort of rolled over there, and you had that large correction where you're coming down, you're hugging this 55, because don't forget, you've not touched the 55 on the daily since way back in December. And look what happened when you did touch that 55. You got the key level of support. The next day, big pump up, and away we went, and we absolutely rocketed and appreciated all that for Cardano. So these are the things you have to target. If you hold support, okay, especially on the daily, if you hold the 55 when you're correcting, you can look at a whopping appreciation. You know, that went up 1,000%, a 10x basically. That absolutely bolted up. So right now you could be looking at a very similar scenario with sort of Cardano, where you've gone up, made that double top, you've gone up here, you made this double top, you've gone up, made another high, and you rolled over back to support, rolled over back to support before you do actually get that confirmation of support, and you start to march on and make those new highs for Cardano. That's why I say to you, always zoom out, and if you start to see yourself losing the 55, okay, if you start to see yourself losing that, you are entering a sort of downtrend, just like you did here. You went up really nice, rolled over, you got the bearish cross, and look at the momentum it gives to the downside. So when you lost the 55, okay, you started to drag it over your shoulder, the EMAs, and you started to take the price with you. Obviously the EMAs with you, and you dragged them over, and from the point at which you made the bearish cross, you corrected a whopping 40%, 40% down there for Cardano, creating the bearish cross. The big sell and go to the beach signal, basically. Buy and go to the beach, sell and go to the beach, buy and go to the beach. Do you see that? So in out, and that's your huge signal there to buy and go to the beach. And right now you're still set on the beach, okay, until you get that bearish cross on the daily time frame. So I want to reassure you it's all good. And if we look, I'll show you another thing as well, because right now what you're doing, you're still making these high lows. Do you see this? You're still making high lows on the grand scheme of things. So effectively when you zoom out, you can see that you're still adhering to some ascending channel. So it's still good. If you get the bounce here, okay, if you get the bounce, a level of support for 55, start to march on, but where you could end up, okay. So don't be scared. Like I said to you, the only time to worry or to think about exiting the market is if you do start to form this sort of bearish cross on the daily like that, and you see that sort of go like that. It's a U signal, because you can see from the history there, when you sort of get that bearish cross, what you're looking at, that potential downside pushing you into a bear market. But we are in a bull market, guys. I want to remind you, we are in a bull market and everything's marching on, but coming back and back testing support is perfectly healthy. Do take care, everyone. Stay strong, stay safe, and I'll catch you in tomorrow's update. Bye bye.